Hi, I'm Paul, sometimes known as the Hot Rod Anglican or Anglican Beach Party on the bodybuilding forums. And today I'd like to talk to you about a subject that's captured a lot of my attention lately, which is a sort of interaction I've seen happen a few times between competitive bodybuilders and those that are outside of the bodybuilding community but are interested in the subject of weight loss or fat loss, usually personally for themselves. And sort of the qualitative nature of this interaction has me stymied a bit, and so I'd like to talk a little bit about that and what I feel is driving it. Competitive bodybuilders have to, in order to be successful, do two things at the same time, or consecutively and serially, which is to gain muscle mass and to lose fat. This separates them from the merely hobbyist bodybuilder or gym rat who is concerned only with lifting and perhaps gaining weight, but never at the same time holding that lean body mass and getting lean enough to appear on a competitive bodybuilding stage. Those who are competitive bodybuilders and have successfully made appearances on a bodybuilding stage have gone to a place in terms of body fat percentage that very few normal humans, in fact very few athletes even, get to. We're talking definitely single-digit percent body fat, 4 or 5% body fats are typical, things like that. And so, in consequence, competitive bodybuilders are in a very good position to say what is successful and what is not in terms of fat loss for the human body. But in spite of the obvious capability of competitive bodybuilders in bringing their body to a low body fat condition, often they don't get the respect, for instance, on the internet that I feel that they deserve, or we deserve, when interacting with obese people who are trying to lose weight. Many overweight people, and we have an epidemic obviously of obesity in the United States of America. It's not a secret. Articles are written on it every day, and what to do about it. There are thoughts of government intervention, which I don't think is the right way to go. I think that self-government and personal responsibility are probably the way to go there. But even when overweight people who are self-avowedly motivated to lose body fat, when these people interact with competitive bodybuilders on the internet, oftentimes the bodybuilding methods for fat loss are dismissed out of hand, and the bodybuilder is not given any sort of street cred for having been able to bring his body to a place of low body fat. I argue with these people from time to time, and I'm fairly often told that my method won't work. There are really kind of two things I'm told. Sometimes I'm told my methods won't work, and my response is, well, it has worked. It worked in 2008 when I competed at age 50 in a drug-tested bodybuilding contest. It worked in 2009 when I competed at the same contest. It worked in 2010. Now it's 2013. I just turned 55. I'll be entering 3 bodybuilding contests. My body fat percentage is currently 7.4%. So I'm in the 7s in terms of body fat percentage. I'm going to go down probably 5% by my third and last contest of the fall. So don't tell me it doesn't work. I'm living it. They'll tell me specific elements of it won't work. I've been told that artificial sweeteners will promote fat gain. Well, I take in a ton of sucralose, and this is what I look like and this is what you look like. So how do you have the nerve to tell me what's going to work? Oh, that's right, you read it somewhere on the internet. You read that such and such an artificial sweetener will cause fat gain, but you never tried it. You never got to the level. You've never been in single digits body fat percentage in your life, and you're telling me what works and what won't work for fat loss? I'm sorry, no, that's not the way it works. The other error that people make is saying that what they're doing is working. I had a friend who, he always posts a very, well, his user picture on social media websites is either not himself, or it's a very old picture of himself, because he's enormous. He is extremely obese, kind of outrageously obese, and we argued about whether his particular diet that he was on, this was a few years back, whether his diet would work or not. And he says, well, it is working. And my thought is, well, number one is it shouldn't work, because he was doing something that was just against what we as bodybuilders learn has to be done for the human body in order to promote fat loss. So it shouldn't have worked, but I would be willing to grant to him that it had worked if he had evidence. Show me a current picture of yourself. Let's see if it's working. I have other friends, and it's not. It's clearly not working. Hence, no current pictures of this guy. So the other thing is, I have had friends who have gone back to the same poisoned well over and over again. They have a secret method, maybe a diet they paid money for, and they do the first 3 weeks of it or the first 5 weeks of it over and over and over again. Sometimes it's because those first few weeks cause them a sudden water loss, and they say, yeah, it's working, I'm down from 247 to 242, yeah, I'm winning. And it's just water loss. It doesn't mean anything. It's not sustainable. But yet when they get back up to 260 again, they'll do another 3-4 weeks of this method, lose the 6-7 pounds of water loss, and they think it's working again. Cycle after cycle after cycle. But when these people talk to competitive bodybuilders on the internet, is there even a modicum of respect? Like, you're in the single digits of body fat percentage. The thought perhaps that you might have something to tell me about how that can be achieved. So in terms of bodybuilding methods, I like to borrow or steal a quote from G.K. Chesterton and say that bodybuilding methods for fat loss have not been tried and found wanting. They have been found difficult and left untried. What typically happens is, when I tell people what I eat, what I'm not allowed to eat, how much cardio I do, how hard the work is to actually have sustainable weight loss, they typically back off and say, nobody can do that. Well, I am doing it. Many people are doing it. Thousands of people are doing it. Or they'll just say, I'm not going to do that. Meaning, well, I want a certain end, but I'm not willing to do what it takes to achieve that end. Now, I have posted my progress photos over the years on a few different websites, bodybuilding.com, RX Muscle Forums, and several other places. And some people got the idea from the rather lean contest photos that I had posted that I was some kind of lean person by nature, an ectomorph, and I just naturally shed body fat, but nothing could be further from the truth. I was a chubby kid growing up, no upper body strength, very weak muscles, not muscular at all, always picked last for sports in every sporting event in school, and you'll see in the video that's coming up how chubby I typically was. Carbohydrates are my comfort food, and when I eat carbohydrates, I just pack on fat like nobody's business. So I'll show you a before and after. In the before picture, I'm about 193 pounds. In the after picture, I'm about 152 pounds. And that was done over the course of about 6 to 7 months back in 2008. I didn't use any fat burners, no thermogenics, no performance-enhancing drugs, no steroids, no HRT, nothing except cardio and diet. So basically hard work. This is what people don't want to hear. People want magic. And so my belief about bodybuilders versus the armchair dietitians, as I call them, is the following. What I've come to determine is that the armchair dietitians, at least a certain fraction of them, want there not to be a solution. They want it to be that the bodybuilder achieved something through drugs, or they want it to be that the bodybuilder has a genetic advantage, which I clearly do not, if you look at my before pictures. Or they want it to believe that I'm not allowed to do it because artificial sweeteners or yada 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 low carb diets are dangerous for me. Therefore, I'm risking my life doing these things. So I think they want there not to be a solution for weight loss so that they're off the hook. Not my fault, nothing I could do about it. I'm a fat ass, but that's the way it is. I'm going to be a fat ass, but I'm blameless because of these reasons, these reasons, these reasons, these reasons, these reasons. And I guess I'm kind of done talking to these people, but I'm always willing to give advice, but I kind of have my doubts that there's really any receptivity to these sorts of ideas from competitive bodybuilders. And that's basically it. Give responses down below if you want. I'll try to answer them if I can.